Hi everyone, it's your Simmer here. So hopping back on just to see where things are at. So kind of what I expected. I'm at stage 2 of 3, so I won't be able to mow until tomorrow. But in the interim, I've got some fertilizing contracts that are available. And given that I'm back in that position of trying to pay off some loans, I'm going to go ahead and work through that. Silage is getting down a little bit below average, so I think I'm going to go ahead right now and leave the silage that I have left, which isn't a ton, but I'm going to leave it there. I may change my mind because it may just be like, it's going to be enough to make some money. Wrong buttons, trying to get my GPS set up here for the field. Alright, so we'll get this one done. I'm not sure that I'm going to have enough with the 1,100 liters that I had left to get this completed. This is basically a $4,500 contract. So we'll have to see how everything looks. We're hitting some lag time here, but definitely keeping this really short. And just giving you an update that, today is basically, at best, a contract day. I may go ahead and decide to sell the silage, because at 173 it's still above average, and transporting everything just in the couple days that things are really high ends up being a challenge with the quantities I've got. But yeah, my guess is if I do make this with what I've got, it's going to be a just barely. Obviously, I almost used 500 going across. I'm going to be very similar to that here. And, we're 34% complete, which seems a little off. I'm almost wondering if I'm having some sort of a problem with the distance again, although this might be 50%. Yeah, we're at 53, and what I mean with the distance is if I'm having trouble with the width, which it sometimes will do. Alright, well, that's the big answer there. I don't know, it just seems off, so let me change this now. I've gone ahead and gotten the additional bag of fertilizer. That should be plenty to get this field done, I believe. There are some tractors in the used equipment. Unfortunately, they still fall in the small range, so it caps out at 205 horsepower, which probably would be enough, but I'm really targeting a medium one with a little bit more power to it. So I'm going to wait, because we've still got many years here, so I'm hopeful that medium tractors will appear again. So I'm shrinking the spread a bit, because that's really the best way to make this work and not just waste a ton of fertilizer here, which on these contracts I definitely don't want to do. So there we go. So I'm going to accept 20, but I am going to go ahead and get probably... I'm probably going to go ahead and just get, well, I'll get 2 bags because I can't fit 3 in. If I was down below 200, I would have done that. But at this point, I am about $3,000 to the positive of where I started here, but we have to keep in mind I had 1,151 liters of fertilizer already in my spreader. So I would have had to have bought 2 bags otherwise, so I'm probably really another 1,800 down, which would really put me again in that 1,000 range of what I would have been at, because I would take $1,800 for another 1,000 liter bag away. So once again, I'm not going to make a lot on the fertilizers, which is why I'm slightly tempted to go ahead and sell the remaining silage and at least get myself as close as I can possibly get to being back to a debt-free situation. Bought the 2 bags. You can see 3,640. I'm down to 2,600. So I am going to go ahead and probably take care of this small group of fertilizer contracts. So I am going to keep doing that. I'm leaning toward just moving the silage over because otherwise it's just going to be so much work otherwise that getting, 80,000 or so complete, which is going to be 5 or 6 loads, that's going to be a half an hour of work to go ahead and do that. And I'd like to perhaps just have that off the plate and then be able to just keep going. And it also is a nice position to start with kind of clean silos at the start of the season and go from there. The other decision I have made for certainty, unless I start seeing evidence that I need to rethink it, in the fact of if I want to stay competitive, that I need to bring in more cash, I'm not going to do anything this large on the next gen. 6 hours of work every cut is just too much, and even if I had broader equipment, I'd still be talking about 4 hours. And I think I'd be really closer to 6 because I'm doing everything now in one run over the field. So having bigger mowers, but then having to windrow and collect, I really think it's just going to be a trade-off that is going to keep the time really close to the same. So I don't know that I can do anything significantly less. I'm going to spend some time in the next year or two looking at all that, because part of what I'm trying to figure out is, are there some options of mixing and matching different types of equipment that might actually make a little more sense. We'll see how that all pans out, but for now, that's the update I've got. Just wanted to pop in, let you know where things are at, and I'll see you next time.